Okay. I'm super excited to be here with Jamie Ushko because we're going to be talking about the purchase plus improvement mortgage, which I think everybody needs to know about, especially
Absolutely.
since prices are high, renovations are low, and you want that dream house, and this is the way to get it.
Okay, so lenders will usually lend you up to 10% of the purchase price to do improvements. There are some lenders that will go up to 20%, which is amazing, and they cap out at $100,000. But usually, more or less, most lenders will cap at about $40,000 for the improvement.
Okay, wait, you can get $100,000 worth of money to renovate your house.
That's could insane. Potentially, yeah.
That's insane.
And that particular lender, they also offer the funds in draws. So lenders do it in different ways, right? For the most part, the purchase plus improvements program, you don't get the money until the renovations are complete or the improvements are completed. So there is this gap in time for some people that they might not have the money. They've just closed on a new house. Maybe they've got new furniture, stuff like that they want to buy, and they might not have the funds exactly in that moment to be able to fund the improvements that need to be done. So there's a couple of ways of going about that. One is to use a line of credit that you already have available to use that until you get your funds when they're completed the improvement. And then the other way is if you're working with a contractor who's comfortable with doing the work, billing you, and then they basically can finance the project until it's completed.
Right. And then once you get your money back from the bank, then you would pay the contractor.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So another thing, I guess, to be aware of is when you're going to do this type of thing during that time period, that subject period. So you've made your offer, it's conditional on, inspection, appraisal, whatever it is. So during that usually 2-week period, you need to have a contractor come in and provide quotes for all of the work that you want to get done. It's really important to get that done right away and for it to be as complete as possible, because it's going to be hard to get access to the house after that. And it's really hard to make changes to that. So once you submit that contractor quotes and what needs to be done or what's going to be done, it's difficult to change that after the fact. You're kind of locked into that.
Right. But then at least, the good thing about all of that is that at least you know how much it's going to cost you to actually renovate the property. So then you know how much money you need accessible through your line of credit and or to come up with to do it. And I think, what is it, like 4 months after you buy the house that you have to actually do it? Or is there a longer timeline?
Yeah, that's a good question. It depends on what's being done. I think typically you're right. It's 3 months. You have to have the work completed.
3?
But I've seen extensions up to a year with permission. So just depending on what's going on, like I had one where the cabinets were delayed and they didn't come in for like several months after. So usually, depending on the lender and the situation, it can be extended if need be, but they like to see the work being done in a pretty solid, quickly amount of time, if possible. And then the other thing I wanted to say, which is really cool, I just did a quick calculation before we hopped on here, because the first thing you might be thinking is, if I'm using a line of credit anyways, what's the point of me putting it into my mortgage? And it's going to make my mortgage higher, right? But the reason is the average line of credit interest rate is like 9.44%. Whereas so
it's more than your mortgage, rolling it into your mortgage, because your mortgage is obviously significantly less than 9%. If our interest rates go up to 9%, I'm not going to be very happy. So
I don't think
no.
Yeah. Don't put that even out there into the universe.
No, knock on wood. Where's the wood?
But yeah, so I did a quick calculation just earlier, and you're saving a few $100 a month, depending on the size of
Holy crap. A few hundred. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, I love it, because it happens very, very often right now where you're shopping for a house, and if you're not paying over $700 for a house right now, you're going to have a house that needs renovate. And even at that price point, sometimes I have clients that are like 800,000 and they're like, I'm still renovating. So just the way that the prices are, I think this is a really good option for people to be able to look at a house, be like, I like the floor plan, I hate the kitchen, or I hate the floors. And it's like, you know what? We actually have a solution for that. So at least you're getting a little bit closer to getting the house that you're going to be happy living in for the next 10 plus years.
It's true.
Knowing that this is an option.
And it's a good, it can save files too. So if you, let's say you find the perfect house, you love it, there's nothing wrong with it. The floors are perfect, the cabinets are great. But you have your home inspection and they go through and they find a crack in the foundation.
Yeah.
And so that's another way you can use it. So you can,
or like a new roof or something too. Hey, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah. So things like that, you can put that in there, and then you have the money, you factored it in. And that can work to help people even just get the deal completed. So it's worked in that way a few times for people.